Well, all I could say is, since he's been back on the ice, he's worked incredibly hard, which you come to expect with Jack. But I think he's just looked good. He's battled to keep the puck out of the net, and just looks like he's refreshed. I think that's natural for that to happen when you can separate yourself from the game for a little while. So obviously, we wish he remained healthy and all those kind of things, but there are some positives that come with being able to take some time away. It's a long season, especially for a guy who plays that position, to get that mental and physical break. I think there's benefits to come from that, and I think we've seen that with in Jack's approach and his play in practices and all those kind of things, and we're excited to get him back in the net.
He's an emotional guy. Is the mental side of the game even, have you been able to manage that even more important for someone of his character?
I think it is more important for every player. The mental side of it is a challenge, and that's especially in the grind of the season, and we're right there now, right? This is a long season. You factor in all the COVID stuff that we've been through, and the toll that takes on you, and then the goaltending position itself, then this market as well. All those things, that's a little break can be a good thing. And I guess, like I said, Jack's energy really never has changed, but you can certainly see him, having lots of bounce in his step around the room these days, and he's excited to get back to play, and he's worked incredibly hard to be ready.
Wilson said we're getting there in terms of him getting back in the lineup. Can you be more specific as to how close we're getting?
He's going to travel with us, so I guess that's closer. He's not going to play tomorrow.
See this trip, especially with the Florida and Tampa games, you guys will know a lot more about clarity of the standings after this trip in particular.
We'll see. I'm not expecting it to be too clear. Things are still very close, obviously, and I don't expect they'll change too much this week. But certainly, all the games that are inside your division are that much more important at this point. We played Florida and Boston, and those were really important games for obvious reasons. And now we're going to go out on the road and have to do it, against Florida again and Tampa. So that's important for us, but let's keep the focus on Philadelphia here for now. We can't win those or play those games tomorrow. Tomorrow we're playing Philadelphia, so that's what we're focused on.
I'm sorry. Is there a maintenance day for Kerfoot today, and is there a possibility Abruzzese gets him?
Yeah, just maintenance for Kerf. We are expecting him to be available to play tomorrow, and Abruzzese will play, yes.
Labushkin, good to go, it looks like?
Yeah, looks that way. We'll see how he wakes up tomorrow and how he's feeling and everything, but it's been nothing but positive progressions for him to this point, so the expectation is he'll be available.
Any more clarity on Peter after his tests yesterday from Rasmus?
Nothing different than what I had told you guys.
What about Rasmus? Is a timeline coming to focus for him?
No, it hasn't. Still week to week.
And Kasha?
It's his as well. There's no timeline attached to that. He's just continued to increase his activity and things like that. But no timeline.
He hasn't been on the ice though, right?
He hasn't, no.
Is it easy to go back, I guess, if Labushkin plays just to what was working before, that kind of thought process?
Yeah, we think so. We had a lot of discussion about that today. We've liked the way those pairings have really gone for us. Yet we do, with Giordano's arrival here, we want to get a feel for different things to be prepared for whatever might come our way. Certainly down the stretch, or certainly in the playoffs, I should say, but it could be down the stretch as well, where we need to change things up. So we have to make sure we continue to monitor that, right? Because we're running out of games here, so we will expect to go tomorrow back to what we had previously, but we're having daily discussions on it. Obviously, if Muzzin's return is going to force us to change some things, just like Labushkin being out last night forced us to change some things. So some of that will happen naturally, but we do want to get a look had some different combinations as we get going here. But for tomorrow, I think we'll settle back into what we've had.
How do you think the power play's been able to adjust these last few weeks with teams in defend in Austin and
It's taken some time, you know, but I think the guys have found a nice groove there to just get the puck to the net. There's some pieces on the breakout and the entries that we've had to adjust to. There's been a lot more pressure there. Some of it, I think, teams adjusting to us, and some of it just kind of the way the schedule has gone and the teams we've played and some of the styles of their penalty kill. That in itself has given us different looks that the guys have had to adapt to, and that's just how those teams kill, no matter who they're playing. So there's pieces of that, and that's why I think you got to monitor and be as prepared and be as adaptable as possible, because you're always getting different looks. Sometimes, as I say, they are directly countering something that you're trying to do, but sometimes it's just in their own identity and how they play, and that in itself disrupts your rhythm, because you know the night before or the game before you played against a team that kills one way, and then suddenly it's a different approach. Some teams have real aggressive up ice pressure. Some teams back off the line. Some teams hold the line. Some teams stab at you. Some teams it's the forward holding the line. Sometimes it's the D. There's all sorts of things happening there that you have to adjust to, and the guys have done a good job of that here recently.
what have you seen from Bruce in the time you've had him here ahead of tomorrow?
Very smart player, and that was like when I watched him on video and you get all the reports. That's the biggest thing that stands out is just his ability to process the game. And any of my discussions with him, whether it's reviewing video or just having conversation, and some of the questions that he asks, just a smart player that I think is going to be able to adjust to that part of the game quickly. Watched a lot of him playing in the Olympics, and while it's certainly not the NHL, but particularly focused on the game against Canada, which was essentially made up of players that I know very well, being whether coaching against them in the NHL or the AHL, and they're all top players at the AHL level certainly. Seeing him compete and play the game at that level gives me confidence that he's going to be able to adapt quickly to a more challenging level in the NHL.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
Thank you.